Kelly should take a shot at Johnny Manziel. He recruited him in Oregon. The price tag I don't think will be very high.
Dude, why would you bring a complete grease fire of a human being in the most important position, the one position in football that demands maturity? You would bring the equivalent of a frat boy to run your franchise. Come on now, Brody. So you're Chip Kelly. You just got canned. This is your last chance to be a head coach. And Brody, what I'm going to do at the most important position that will define my legacy as an NFL head coach, I'm going to wrap my arms around Johnny Manziel. I just got fired in Philly. I don't want to go back to college. I'm not going to get a third head coaching job if I bomb. And I'm going to put my legacy, my football legacy. I've been in football 40 years, Chip Kelly. I'm going to put my entire NFL legacy in the hands of Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel doesn't care about me. He doesn't care about Johnny Manziel. He may have an addiction issue. Terrible, terrible idea. You know, there's that old saying in relationships. You know, like sometimes I see people getting frustrated. If you don't care about something, I don't care about something. I feel sorry for burn victims and orphans. You know what I mean? Like, I feel bad for people who got breaks, who wouldn't have asked in a million years for something to happen to them. That's where my sympathy goes. My sympathy is not even. If you don't care about yourself, why should I care about yourself? If you want to wake up and have 9 donuts a day and fill your bloodstream with that kind of sugar, I'm not going to lose a lot of sleep about your obesity. You know, like, if you don't care, what do I care? I care about people who have things happen to them. They're hit by a car. They're abused physically. Things they didn't ask for, would never seek. Burn victims, orphans, abuse victims. That's where my sympathy goes. It doesn't go toward people who don't give a rip themselves. I mean, if you've been divorced 6 times, I don't care about your next marriage. You don't care about them. If you cheat 4 times, you're divorced 6 times, don't get caught twice, but still get divorced, you don't care about the sanctity of marriage. Why the hell should I care about your marriage? Care about people who care about things and got hosed. Johnny Manziel's issues are Johnny Manziel's self-induced issues. Not wrapping my arms around him. God, just hiring, do you know how much stress? Do you know how many interviews I did and people I called when I was hiring Kristine Leahy? And I'm thinking to myself, I'm rebooting my career. I mean, I had a guaranteed contract and everything, but I'm thinking, I got to make this choice work. Will we get along?
It's a lot of pressure.
Does she work hard? I mean, all the calls I made thinking, listen, because I'm not hiring somebody and bailing on them. It's like I called everybody I could. Is she mature? Work ethic? She a good person? And you've far surpassed any of that stuff. But in the end, it was like, I got to get this right.
Yes.
I'm rebooting things, right? So Chip Kelly's rebooting things. I'm going to get a guy that, knowing the NFL is watching him, is out 4 straight nights in LA. Good Lord, that'd be a horrible decision.
So if you heard I was out partying on Sunset every night, like you
I
say I do now, you would not hire me.
No.
But now it's a benefit. Now it's a benefit.
No, but if somebody said, you know, she's not overly disciplined, like she may show up late to work, she won't show up to a couple of the shows, like Johnny Manziel, I'd be like, I can't go there. Like, she's talented, yeah, but I know, but she doesn't show up. She's not a good teammate. She doesn't have personal discipline. I'd be like, oh, you know, she's made those decisions. That's cool. Still like her, but I can't hire her. Right? Because I don't really generally have a choice of who I hire. Mm-hmm. Like, companies give me who they get. It was a rare opportunity where it was like, okay, you want to find somebody, go find somebody.
Yeah.
So
Which is honestly better that way.
Yes.
I think it's great that you.
A lot of stress though.
Yeah, you seem very stressed when I met you.
But man, when you're down to your last chance, it's not like Chip Kelly's first job. It's not like, you know, I understood Chip Kelly's first job in Philly. He goes 10-6, 10-6, kind of rolling. Oregon was a power, 10-6. Then you could take a chance. Then you could get Mark Sanchez. You could draft Tebow or something. I get that. Like, when life is rolling and you're on, you know, the wave, you take chances then. But for Chip Kelly, this is it. This is it. 866-987-2570. 866-987-2570. You know, something else with all these quarterbacks in the NFL, there is something that we should have figured out this year from Cam Newton that we know Colin Kaepernick can't do. And it was right in front of us. And all you teams going after Kaepernick, be forewarned. That's next. Changing an industry isn't easy, but Casper's doing it. Changing the way we buy mattresses. Okay? They turned the commission-driven mattress showroom on its head. Yeah, it used to be like, if you were in this business, you were pushing mattresses. You'd go to a store, they were pushing the most expensive mattress because sales guy would make a bigger commission. Doesn't work that way with Casper. Now they're into sheets and pillows, too. Named one of the best inventions of 2015 by Time magazine. Casper ships its mattresses for free in a surprisingly compact box. Try it for 100 nights in your own home. Free shipping and returns. And I have 6 of these. And it has been, without question, the best sleep of my life. I wouldn't, it's not on the script here. I don't have to say that. Guaranteed great night's sleep. Casper.com code HERD. Terms and conditions apply. In Los Angeles. Also go to Facebook.com/The Herd. We're live today. It's The Herd.
You ever worn a Fitbit?
No.
Do they measure your heart rate?
Anybody out there, does a Fitbit measure your heart rate?
Yeah, that's a great question. Does a Fitbit monitor your heart rate? I would like to know. Because I have a Fitbit that I've never used. And I wonder if it would monitor my heart rate.
Somebody's saying yes.
Okay, 1 second.
The Fitbit does do your heart rate.
Does it do it well? Like, is it accurate?
Yes.
Oh. Cool. I was going to buy a heart rate monitor today, but I don't have to. I can just put the Fitbit on.
I don't know if people are saying yes that the Fitbit works or they're saying yes that you're now on again.
Oh.
Yes, it does if you have... No. Yes, it does monitor your heart rate.
It does. And okay.
Somebody's wearing one now.
And does it do an accurate job? Because I feel like if it's like a bracelet.
You need the Fitbit heart rate. There's different kinds.
Fitbit heart rate. I gotta check which one I have. I don't even know.
And how well you sleep. Supposedly.
Probably not lower, no.
So I was thinking if we do the Cespedes with the Gossage soundbite.
How Herd Line News is made.
Carlos Gomez kind of backing up Bryce Harper's comments, and I was kind of highlighted specifically what he said on the back there about.
Wait, you want to do the gossip soundbite again?
Do we do
Is that
it?
what you're saying?
Yeah,
Colin's done it a couple times, hasn't he?
He hasn't done a part with kind of ranting on Bautista and Cespedes. I'll ask the guys unless I just didn't hear it.
I feel like this is getting confusing.
We didn't do Cespedes.
Yeah, there's another part where he rants about Colin in the meeting was talking about like sabermetrics and kind of like the nerds.
Why don't we save this for the third hour? But like, let's have it ready. Okay. We can do this here. Do we have this sound ready?
Yes.
Okay. Let's do this. Do we have this sound ready?
No, I won't cut that.
Okay. We're gonna do this again because of Bucher.
Yeah.
And wasn't there another one? Oh, let's do this one. So maybe this. Okay, that would be the order.
So Cespedes, so setting up Cespedes with Gossage.
Don't give it away, they're watching.
How many people now?
We're at 6.6 live streaming right now.
So how many total on the day?
So it's
this is cut.
Was that live right now?
Yes,
What's up?
Let's do a Colin Q&A.
I ain't shaved this morning.
Wait, can I'm gonna ask the questions. Colin, I'm asking the questions.
All right.
Tell Kristine to check out Under Armour Fitband. Oh, okay. Because do you wear a Fitbit ever? I need a heart rate monitor.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if a Fitbit did it. Colin, okay, guys, ask Colin questions, and then I will ask them to Colin.
All right.
Hopefully you get just... I'm not going to ask that one.
If you want to look at... Here, you can look at them.
Okay, guys, you are not asked... Okay. Have we gotten to Goose Gossage? No, but we will. Oh, someone said you're drinking a beer. You're not. Guys, ask questions. Do you have no questions for Colin? This is the best. Hikes or the gym, Colin?
Both.
Go to Chicago for a book tour.
I may. I'm trying to stay out of cold weather.
It's my home. It's getting favorite restaurant in Portland.
Oh, God, there's a million. There used to be a place for breakfast called Mother's I liked a lot for breakfast. Great breakfast place.
Someone asked, you don't have to answer this. Who do you like more, me or Beetle? We love them both.
You.
Don't say me. We love her. Do you think LeBron will get one for Cleveland?
One max.
If you could play any sport, what would it be?
NBA.
Why don't you shave anymore?
I was like hell.
When will your book be out on audio?
I'm not sure, but it'll be out in paperback in a month, and it's got an extra chapter in it, which is really good. It's going to tell the real story of why I changed networks.
Your
it's good.
former employer.
Yes.
You have got to do an audio version. Like, it's insane that you wouldn't do one. Because you're a radio personality.
I know.
Your voice is what people love to listen
I know.
to.
They love my voice.
It basically, instead of doing a show, you could just do 3 hours, record your book.
You know how long it takes to record a book?
No.
Oh, God, it's awful.
How
it's like
long is it?
5 days of reading.
Really?
Oh, it's hard.
Why? Because you have to, like, redo it?
Well, you just think to yourself, oh, it took me but when you read, you fly through. To read every word, it takes you like 4 days of recording. It's hard.
Do you have someone in there saying, no, do that better? Do that better? That's amazing.
It's hard.
When will Uncle Colin move Aunt Kristine's seat? The audio version would be cool. Who will the Broncos pick up for quarterback? That's the last one.
A.J. McCarron.
No.
Bold prediction.
Okay.
Welcome back. Great to have you in on a Friday. I love doing radio. We're about 10 days a year we won't be on TV, but you can get us on iTunes. You can get us on Facebook.com/The Herd. I'm live right now. You can get us on iTunes. That's 24/7 loop. Get us on FoxSportsRadio.com, and we're now up to 85 or 86 affiliates. In LA, 570. So a lot of places to get us. We just have about 10 days a year. We're dark. We're not on TV. So we decided yesterday to go to the Facebook.com site, Facebook.com/The Herd, and you can watch the show live. It's fun. Now, I didn't shave, and Kristine's dressed like a sailor, apparently.
I thought you were going to say Kristine didn't either. A little too personal.
Yes, a little too personal.
Not true,
but it's fun. You can watch behind the scenes.
Yeah. You were just answering a lot of really amazing questions, I'm sure all of you.
Yeah, and you know the best thing about going to Facebook? I can talk about stuff that won't bore the radio audience. So you can ask me personal questions that I wouldn't talk about on the air because it's boring.
Well, I think people want to know what you're doing.
It's a
That's
very stiff.
That's not boring.
competitor.
People literally, everyone who's listening right now is listening because they enjoy your voice and your takes, which is exactly what you would be
I don't
giving
think
an
they
audio.
enjoy my voice. I think they're okay with my takes. I don't think my voice is selling.
I do. I think it's a very soothing voice.
So let's find out who the 2015
Like, so it just kind of
Premier
like-
League Enterprise
am I 1-1
Challenge
now?
champions are.
Cool. It's on a list. It's a thing.
Representing Manchester
So Colin
United.
Kaepernick, I thought about this. When we watched the Super Bowl this year with Cam Newton, right? Okay, let me ask you a question. Anybody listening? Cam Newton won the MVP this year. He didn't win it the previous 3 to 4 years. Well, did Cam get bigger? No.
Yeah.
Did Cam get faster this year?
Okay.
No. Oh, okay, wait, hold on. Did Cam get stronger this year? No.
Let's hear it for the
Why was Cam so much better
Manchester
this year?
United!
Let me think about this. Because he became a smarter quarterback. Now, some guys, the light goes on a little more quickly. Andrew Luck, it went on pretty quickly. Russell Wilson, pretty quickly. Teddy Bridgewater, pretty quickly. But Cam and Big Ben, it took a little longer. Big Ben's first couple years in the league, he made a lot of mistakes. Then all of a sudden, about year 3 for Big Ben, you're like, whoa. All of a sudden for Cam, it's like, whoa. Some guys, Russell Wilson, really fast. Some guys, Andrew Luck, really fast. Other guys, takes a while. Well, what did we learn from Cam? Once Cam had the ability to audible at a high level and change the play at the line of scrimmage, and that's what he really did this year, it's like adding 30 to 40% offense. Now think about this. If you went and took a test in college or high school, and I gave you about 30% of the answers for every question. I didn't give you the answer, but I gave you a hint for about 30 to 40% of the questions. Think your test score would be higher? That's what audibling is. And audible doesn't guarantee the right answer, but it gives you an advantage schematically. But a lot of young guys, Marcus Mariota, Johnny Manziel, Tim Tebow, they're not doing that first 2 years. Some aren't doing it first 3 years. But all great quarterbacks, all of them, everyone, no exception, the great ones all eventually become very good at the line of scrimmage. Now, some like Peyton are better than others. Some like Steve Young are better than others. I mean, there's almost a mastery at the line of scrimmage. So that's the way it works with all great quarterbacks. They come in, and then when it clicks, year 2, 3, 4, they get better. They elevate. Cam Newton this year. But yet it's interesting, isn't it? There's one quarterback that went the opposite. That's weird. Colin Kaepernick. He came in, got really, really good, really, really fast. We all bought in. And now he's dissolved into this. How's that work? He was great early. He went backwards of Cam, backwards of Big Ben, backwards of Peyton. I don't understand that. Why? Because he did it on physicality. And now it's been published. He struggles at the line of scrimmage. He can't master an offense. Something above the shoulder doesn't quite click. And once NFL teams get a book on him, it's over. So Kaepernick, the great quarterbacks, it all goes the same way. Talented, clicks. Wow, 7, 8 years. Troy Aikman, Steve Young. Talented. Doesn't quite, takes time for it to click. And the click is, game slows down. I can now audible 30, 40% of the offensive plays at the line, giving us a schematic edge. Not the answer to the question on the test, but an advantage, a hint. It's now widely reported by Bay Area media, not me. San Francisco's had to simplify the playbook several times. That is a huge disadvantage for a quarterback. So just know this. I know everybody loves Kaepernick's talent, but what that erosion is telling you is that the book is out on him, and physically, he can beat you, and that'll get worse. But at the line of scrimmage, he's not elite. And all these years in the NFL now, he's not a baby anymore. It's like 28. All these years in the league, he still can't. So something there, cognitively, whatever it is not working. The reason Cam Newton was great this year, the reason Big Ben in his 3rd year was great, the reason Russell Wilson's 2nd year, actually I would say this year, to be honest with you, Russell Wilson this year, like really, even though they didn't win the Super Bowl, this year he really clicked. You're like, he sits in the pocket and he reads the defense. And so when I look at Kaepernick, I look at him like the kid that it's a 30% disadvantage to not being able to master the line of scrimmage. Peyton Manning goes into every game with a 30, 40% advantage that I can change the play at the line of scrimmage. That's not understated. That's the difference between Troy Aikman and Bob Aikman. I mean, that's the difference between, Blaine Gabbert and a 7-year Pro Bowler. Is that 30% at the line? Here's a hint for the midterm answer. And Cap doesn't, he's going backwards. 7-year, he's 28 years old. He just doesn't give you that next thing at the line of scrimmage. And according to Bay Area media who cover him and have sources inside the organization, they're having to simplify things. It's supposed to go the other way. You're supposed to add plays the older a player gets. You give Big Ben more. You give Cam more. You give Eli more. With him, you're having to give him less. So I think he's a limited quarterback. And I fell for his physicality, and he's just limited. So don't go crazy if you sign him. Appears to be some limitations. Kristine with the news.
This is the Herd Line News.
Yesterday, Goose Gossage had this to say about Jose Bautista and Yoenis Cespedes and their showboating on home runs. Okay. So now Yoenis Cespedes is saying, was he a pitcher? He says he doesn't even know who Gossage is, hasn't heard of him. And then he added, I'm not too worried about what anyone says about me. I'm just going to go out there and do my job. That's all I'm going to focus on.
Just don't think it's a big deal. I don't think you're a punk if after you jack one out, you flip a bat. In Japan, they do it. Nobody loses any sleep. No. Again, you're not thumping your chest for, you're not staring and pointing at the opposing dugout. It's a half-second bat flip. Who cares?
Are you going to talk about your theory on baseball fans?
I am not. I am. Yes, later this hour. Yes.
I think that ties in very nicely.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, former NBA player Nate Robinson says he wants to play in the NFL. This has been something that he's talked about for years now. This is Nate Robinson. He's 5'9". He's played for a handful of NBA teams. Won the slam dunk contest many times. And I actually know that he's been working out with a couple NFL players, and he wants to be the first guy to do that, to play in both the NBA and in the NFL. And he says he'd probably be one of the best corners the NFL had ever seen. He's also making kind of a promotion video of himself. Here's
I'll say this. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, you're going to play the sound?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will say this. He played at the University of Washington. Mm-hmm. He was unbelievable. I think 7 years ago, he could have been it. There's not a doubt in my mind, Kristine, that 7 years ago, because he's been an NBA player, right? Yeah. There's no question in my mind 7 years ago, Nate Robinson would have started at corner and been at least good in the NFL.
Do you think he made the wrong move going to the NBA instead?
Well, he is 5'7", so probably 5'9". Yeah, I mean, he's made a nice career, but I saw him play college football live. He was absolutely one of the greatest athletes for his size I've ever seen. And by the way, corners. Now everybody wants long corners now, but like 8 years ago, nobody was going after 6'2" corners. They were seen as too plodding and slow. 8 years ago, Nate Robinson could have played both simultaneously, and I absolutely believe would have been, because he's never been terrible. He was okay in the NBA, could shoot a little. He
could dunk and look really cool doing it at 5'9". I feel like this is exactly the way he should have done it, because he made a lot more money in the NBA. NFL, you risk getting hurt, so this is a good order to do it. Also, LeBron James is defending Steph Curry from the criticism that he's getting from everybody who's talking now that this team couldn't have beat my team back in the day, and all the Hall of Famers and the older guys to play the sport. And LeBron said, I'm respectful to all the guys who paved the way, the greats, guys who were role players, guys who were part of championship teams or not. I've always been respectful, so it does kind of suck when you've got guys who played before us and paved the way, and they like to talk down on our players, saying, well, if they played in our era, it wouldn't be the same. I just have to think, I've said this before, it just seems like a media-driven controversy.
But here's the thing. I've told people in this business, if they start talking about you, it's because you matter.
Yes.
Blogs aren't talking about overnight guys on the Sporting News Radio Network.
Right.
If they're talking about you, it's all activism because it gets people to talk about you. They're talking about LeBron and Steph Curry because they matter. Nobody's covering Rudy Gay.
Right. And you know what else it is? There's nothing else to talk about. So they're trying to create this controversy between former players and Steph Curry when Steph is like the nicest guy.
Once you become Drake, once you become LeBron, once you become, whoever, Julia Roberts, it doesn't matter.
No.
Once you become profoundly talented or paid or whatever, you are going to be compared to other great people.
Right.
So the greatest compliment you can get is people saying, oh, Steph Curry isn't as good as Michael Jordan. Nobody has and it becomes a real debate. Nobody says Rudy Gay is not as good as MJ, because cemented that argument.
But if you're Drake and you get dissed, you're going to put out diss tracks, sometimes multiple back.
But the reason Drake's being compared to Usher, this, is because he's elite. So it's not, remember, hate mail.
He's being compared to Usher.
Well, he's being compared to, they're starting to compare him to other greats. It means you matter. That's all it means.
Yes, it does. And because I know we have Rick Beaver coming on, he gave a report during the game last night between the Lakers and Cavs that the Cavs GM David Griffin has spoken to LeBron regarding his social media use and the subtweeting that we thought it was. But apparently LeBron has told his teammates exactly what the tweets mean. He He's told them that they are not about them. And then Rick Baker gave his theory that he thinks it's just that the Cavs are bored right now and LeBron's entertaining himself right now on social media.
Kristine with the news.
Colin, Mark Sanchez.
Casper's turned the commission-driven mattress showroom on its head by engineering a single perfect mattress. Go to Casper.com. Try it at home 100 nights risk-free. Use the code HERD, 50 bones off the purchase of your mattress. Terms and conditions apply. Well, this whole thing in the NFL. San Francisco, there's a couple quarterbacks out there. There's Ryan Fitzpatrick of the Jets. There's Colin Kaepernick of the Niners. There's RG3 who's drifting. And Mark Sanchez right now, is this true? Mark Sanchez, we've just been told this, is now a Denver Bronco. So the Denver Broncos have signed Mark Sanchez. So it's just a merry-go-round of guys. Let's go to Mary Kay Cabot, Cleveland Plain Dealer. That's kind of the linchpin here. All right, Johnny Manziel's been released. No big shock. So is the story about Kaepernick and the Browns legitimate, Mary Kay Cabot? Do you believe it to be true? Okay, Carson Wentz, number 2 pick. Everybody thinks the Browns are taking a quarterback. So why in the world take Kaepernick if you're going to take Carson Wentz? Does it change the draft?
You know what? I don't know if they just don't think either of these two guys are ready to start right away, and they would have Colin come in and be a bridge for a couple of years, or maybe if you end up with Colin, then you go and take your quarterback at number 32, and you end up with a Paxton Lynch or a Connor Cook, and you save that number 2 spot for Joey Bosa if he falls to you there, or Jalen Ramsey, or someone else at that spot. So I think there's a lot of different ways you can go about it.
Okay, Mary Kay Cabot joining us. So Kaepernick and the Browns is a real thing, even though they have the number 2 pick, Carson Wentz. You think they choose one or the other? Maybe they don't think Carson Wentz or Jared Goff at Cal is ready to play in the NFL. So Johnny Manziel, a lot of the people that were all in on Johnny Manziel have been flushed out once again by the Browns, the coaches, the coordinators, GM, stuff like that. Are there people remaining in Cleveland that were Manziel fans in that building? How do they feel today? Are they embarrassed, humiliated?
Well, I think Jimmy Haslam was probably the biggest Johnny fan of all when from the start. He was definitely, excited about Johnny and all the things that he was going to bring to the table. So I have to think it's a very bittersweet day for Jimmy Haslam because he's going to come down and know not only that he just lost so much negative attention and embarrassment in the organization. I think everyone in that building is basically kind of jumping for joy today.
Yeah. All right, so Hugh Jackson is an offensive-minded guy. Now, there's the Kaepernick, and there's the Carson Wentz thing. In your opinion, if Hugh Jackson had total authority, Mary Kay, to make the call on this, would he go Wentz? Would he go a reclamation project like Kaepernick?
Wow, that's a great question. I would have to think that he might want to do both. And looking ahead and thinking that you're going to have this job for the next how many ever years, that you would want a really good developmental quarterback. A lot of times you can only get the best guy right up there in the top 5. So, and then you need someone to get you through the next couple of years. I would think that he might want to do both. And I don't know if he's going to have the opportunity to do that. I don't know how much of a say he has in all of this yet. It's new to everyone. But, he did love Colin Kaepernick coming out of Nevada. Absolutely loved him. And I'm sure he thinks that he could probably work with him.
Last time you saw Johnny Manziel, how did it go?
Last time I saw Johnny Manziel, he was the way he always is whenever I see him, in complete and total 100% denial about his off-the-field issues, thinking that he was totally fine, and thinking that we were the ones that were blowing everything out of proportion.
Was he an odd person to cover?
He was so much more likable than people think that he is. The guys in the locker room, a lot of them really liked him and were mad at us for continuing to harp on the partying aspect of things. So he had a lot of players on the team, believe it or not. He was a little difficult to cover because we couldn't really get too close to him. He was almost supposedly sort of larger than life, so we weren't really ever, too allowed to kind of just sit around and shoot the breeze with him. He was always blowing through the locker room and kind of hiding out in the trainer's room and all
Who was the first person in Cleveland that bailed on him? That you knew was like, I don't like him, it's not going to work.
Kyle Shanahan. And Kyle Shanahan, put his money where his mouth is and basically rolled it out the door. He knew going forward that, there were a lot of issues. There were a lot of issues, with Kyle Shanahan and Ray Farmer, obviously. But I also think that he could see that Johnny Manziel had a long, long way to go, and that it probably wasn't going to work out. And same thing with Donald Lawrence, who now is the offensive coordinator of Chicago. They found out that he wasn't going to put forth the time and the commitment that it was going to take to be the bench.
Yeah. Mary Kay Cabot, Cleveland Plain dealer, late notice this morning. Thank you so much, Mary Kay.
Thank you.
All right, Mark Sanchez officially in Denver. Not ideal, but that's where he's at. RG3, stories this morning, probably San Francisco. Kaepernick, question mark, Cleveland or the Jets. All right. Rick Bucher, top of the hour. Yeah. It's you bring in, what do you do? What do you do with Carson Wentz and Jared Goff? What I'm hearing from my NFL guys, people think Goff is ready to start right now in the NFL if he's got a good support system or he's closer to starting. People think Carson Wentz has a higher ceiling, but they're not quite sure if he's ready. They'd like him to sit. They think if Goff went to a team like Cincinnati's got a really good offensive line. Like and they got good receivers. I mean, Cincinnati's got a lot of good offensive weapons. That Jared Goff could go to a Cincinnati and be pretty good now. What's interesting about this, what does this do with A.J. McCarron? So basically what John Elway of the world champions told you, they don't think Mark Sanchez and A.J. McCarron are separated by much. Because if John Elway felt A.J. McCarron was special, and John Elway doesn't think that, he would have obviously given up a second and a fourth-round pick. So what John Elway, who has been really good on quarterbacks, is telling you, A.J. McCarron's okay. He's not significantly better than Mark Sanchez. That's what he's telling you. And a lot of people are like, the Alabama fan, because Alabama's quarterbacks aren't very good in the NFL. And all those Alabama fans are like, A.J. McCarron. John Elway knows more than you. He's telling you McCarron may be better than Sanchez, but he's not 2 picks better. Because if Elway thought he was the guy, you don't go from Super Bowl champs and say to yourself, I'm going to get bad at quarterback. You're trying to get the best guy out there. And Elway's saying A.J. McCarron, he's not worth 2 picks. If you thought a guy was a starting quarterback for 5 years, you'd give up a 2 and a 4. I can guarantee that. People have given up a lot more at quarterback and gotten a lot less. Coming up next, I will play. Goose Gossage is a profanity-laced tirade. He's all over the map, but he does touch on one thing where he's kind of got a point. He may miss on some other things, but as he starts swearing, and I'll let you hear that, he makes a couple of good points. That's next. SoFi.com, SOFI.com, is a financial company offering great rates on student loan refinancing. SoFi.com is partnering with people. They can save you on average 19 grand. Okay, you have student loans, right? You know there's more student loan debt in America than the national debt? That's true. The SoFi.com application, completed in the time it takes to complete a bracket challenge. It's fast, convenient, and easy. You can do it on your phone. You can do it on your tablet, computer, anywhere. It evaluates on a holistic approach, looking at your complete financial picture. If you work hard to maintain a strong profile, SoFi.com is going to reward you. You might be able to lower your monthly payment and simplify your life. Go to SoFi.com/Colin. That's SOFI.com/Colin. Let them help you today. 19 grand, the average savings. California Finance Lender, number 6054612. NMLS, whatever that means, 1121636 is the hurdle.
Oh my god. Colin, what are you doing this weekend?
Kids are flying in. I'm going to see the kids, going to pick them up at the airport and hang out all weekend.
What are you guys going to do?
Daughter's got a volleyball tournament, go to the beach.
It's going to be cool. I'll be in Santa Monica.
How many people today, boss?
Let's see. There's a lot of questions.
There are.
Throughout the whole game.
Okay, let's go.
All right. Let's see what we got here. Hey, Kristine, what's your middle name?
Marie. Oh, I should have had people guess what it is. Marie is my middle name.
What do you drive? You don't have to answer.
I'm not answering.
In-N-Out or Shake Shack?
Okay, so I think I had Shake Shack in Vegas. Does that sound right? I'm going to say Shake Shack because I think they have chicken sandwiches because I don't eat hamburgers. And at In-N-Out, all I can get is a grilled cheese sandwich.
This thing's ended up being
And french fries.
TV.
Let's see.
really cool.
Somebody asked if you're hungover.
No, I can't even tell you the last time I had a drink. I worked out a lot last night, so can't drink. I had a protein shake last night. Yummy.
What's your favorite football team?
Patriots.
Do people ever mistake you for Christian Cavallari?
Kristine Leahy.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah,
Oh,
Kristine Cavallari. I had a thing with her.
Did you? It's Jay Cutler's wife. She's beautiful.
She is beautiful.
It's a good.
All right, do we have the Goose Gossage stuff?
Yeah.
Harley or a convertible?
A convertible because I am not a supporter of motorcycles.
Favorite fast food?
KFC.
Wow.
I love KFC.
It's like picking a 9 seed to win the tournament.
I love KFC. The chicken poppers that they have are so good. And do you know the bowl that they always have the commercials for
bowl.
KFC?
Yeah.
It's like mashed potatoes, corn.
Oh yeah, those things
Chicken
take years off
fingers.
your life.
What else is in there? More things.
What they do is they scrape out the bottom
Yeah.
of every bin, and
Yeah.
they dump it into a bowl, and they sell it to you for $5.99.
Yeah, I had one time and it was amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you CrossFit?
Wow.
No, I don't do CrossFit. I do a lot of other stuff though.
Favorite dessert?
Ice cream or cupcakes.
You don't eat sushi, do you?
Nope, no sushi.
Career-wise, if you could do anything in the world with no chance of failure, what would you do?
Colin, close your ears.
Say it again.
Eventually, I'd probably have my own show.
Coke or Pepsi?
Neither. I don't drink soda. Not good for you.
Let's see. No sushi. I'm done with you. Somebody
Oh,
says.
sorry to lose you.
Yoga question mark?
Yeah, I should do more yoga. I used to do yoga like 2 or 3 times a week. And I don't do it, which is crazy because in LA it's like the mecca of yoga. But I did it more in Boston.
Would
So
you
with the teacher.
would you ever skydive?
No, you could not pay me any amount of money to skydive. Any amount.
You do any ninja warrior training?
Yes. I do. Are you gonna watch Ninja Warrior? Watch Ninja Warrior. We start shooting again next Thursday. Yeah.
Why do you love Derrick Rose so much?
Because he plays for Chicago. I love the Bulls.
What was your first media job?
Like job where I got paid. It's hard to decide whether it was working for the Celtics or working for the radio station WEEI. I think I started like the same day, pretty much.
If you watch us live on Facebook.
Favorite Disney princess?
Probably Cinderella. Or I like Ariel the mermaid. I love to swim. Or Cinderella's a good one. Yeah, I'm gonna go with those two.
Do you play video games?
League of Legends, duh.
First job as a teenager?
I worked at a hair salon
This is great.
as a receptionist.
I love these questions, by the way.
Do you watch cartoons?
Yeah, I do. Like once a year. If I see a good one on. I used to love Rugrats. You remember Rugrats
Rugrats is good.
on Nickelodeon?
I never watched Rugrats,
I like
but
Rugrats.
I don't remember them.
Country music question mark?
Hell no. I hate country music. Like, hate it, and it makes my ears bleed. So bad.
What's on your sports bucket list?
Like, what do I want to cover? What do I want to do?
Or like event you'd want to go to?
This is gonna sound really bad, but I feel like I've been to the Super Bowl. I guess covering Bulls games is actually like really cool to me. 'Cause I grew up watching them. Are we on? Is everyone aware?
Welcome back. So Goose Gossage was all over the board. He was ripping Jose Batista, calling him a disgrace to the game. He started blasting nerds for turning baseball into a joke during a 10-minute interview Thursday. And, a lot of it's just all over the map. But he does talk about sabermetricians and rotisserie baseball and the numbers of it. Let's play the tape from former great reliever of the Yankees, Goose Gossage. Well, let me just say this. Nobody wants to be called a nerd, right? Like, it's not a nice thing to say. So let's get the name calling out of it. If I said to you baseball attracts people who tend to be more analytical and sometimes a little more introverted, is that unfair? Think about basketball and who goes to the games. Stars, Denzel, Jay-Z, Timberlake, Jack, social people. Social people. Stephen King's a baseball fan. He's reclusive. In media, sports media in America, the biggest fan of baseball is Keith Olbermann. Largely reclusive. Analytical. Smart. If I said to you, let's stop calling people nerds, because nobody wants to be called a name. The biggest baseball fans I've ever known tend to be more analytical. Math people, science people, numbers people, accountants. That doesn't mean accountants are nerds. Now, I will say this. Baseball is no different than any other sport. You can try to reduce it to a number, but in the history of baseball, from Babe Ruth to Bob Gibson to Mickey Mantle, to Bo Jackson, to Bryce Harper, to Roberto Clemente, to Willie Mays, the best baseball players are just like the best football players and the best basketball players. The bigger, stronger, faster, more dynamic, more instinctive athlete is the best. You can talk about numbers. The 10 best baseball players of all time, you'd say, Bonds, A-Rod, Willie Mays, Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle. What do they all have in common? Big, strong athletes. None are 5'2". None are 109 pounds. Big, strong, fast, dynamic. So players who are... Why is Kansas City right now doing really well? They got a lot of athletes. They got dudes that can run, take first to third in a single to center. That's why they're winning. They don't have big home run hitters necessarily. They have dynamic athleticism. But as fans, does baseball attract, as its fans, more analytical people? I think that's fair. In my life, that's fair. Now, baseball is more reducible to numbers. Therefore, baseball fans are turned on by that. And when generally we think of numbers people in society, if I said, hey, dude, the coolest guy I know, he's a mathematician. Hey, Jay-Z on the side is an accountant. No, basketball tends to be attractive to people who like big emotion, stars, slam dunks, art, movement, energy. Baseball tends to attract some people, games slower, more analytical, numbers-based. War, whip, war. I mean, look at this. If you look at sabermetric batting stats, there's an RC, an RC27, an ISOP, an SECA. Honestly, secondary average, runs created per 27 outs, ground ball to fly ball ratio. Willie Mays and Mickey Mantle, I don't know how they tested there. They were just bigger, stronger, faster, more dynamic. And honestly, it sounds like Star Wars characters. RC-27 and Seca. Honestly. So, Goose Gossage is saying there's a lot of nerds that now have influence in baseball. I would say there are a lot of analytically driven people who now have influence in baseball. Take the name calling out. I think he's right. Are a lot of people that are into math a little nerdier? Yeah. I mean, you ever Ever gone to a math class? See who sits up front and raises their hand a lot?
That was me, for sure.
Well, it's been established you are a beautiful nerd, but a nerd nonetheless.
Proud of it.
But yeah, I think what Goose is saying, there's some truth to it. But I just think once you do name calling, people bristle, push back. Yeah, baseball has more analytical fans than other sports, and they have more influence than ever. Absolutely. I don't even think it's deniable. All right, Rick Bucher's around the corner. A lot of good stuff. Great last hour on a Friday. It's the Herd.